Hello everybody and welcome to a no holds barred vintage cube draft. With a very vintage cube start, we will be taking a Sol Ring here. That's excellent. This format is even more broken than normal vintage cube, so there's even more of a premium on fast mana. Lutri is pretty good, Burst Lightning maybe, Counterspell maybe, but pretty easy Sol Ring, and we'll see where we go from there. Not a very good pack to follow it up. We could take a Talisman of Creativity. I do actually like these colorless lands that ramp you a decent amount. They're not good in every deck, but I built one very good blue artifact deck that had Crystal Vein, Ancient Tomb, City of Traders, and maybe even Mishra's Workshop, which is just a great way to get some extra value. But I think I'm not going to take it here. Talisman of Creativity looks good. Some of these red threats, like Rabblemaster and Headliner Scarlet, are good to play off of Sol Ring. But let's take the Talisman and stay a little bit more open here to start. Interesting. So there's Kiki and Fear of Missing Out, which are very good together. This essentially is just an infinite win if you have Delirium. The problem is I don't think it's super likely that Fear of Missing Out wheels. It could, because Gut is a pretty solid pickup. So if red is open, that's one direction you could go. Could always take a fetch land. Could take Forensic Gadgeteer, which is good with these artifacts. Very interesting pack. I kind of like taking the Gadgeteer. The artifact deck is really busted. We have 2 artifacts to start. And then we don't have to worry about fighting for all these red cards. I'll take the Gadgeteer. We'll see. Now there's a few possibilities. Force of Negation is good. Scrapwork Mutt is a cheap artifact to trigger the Gadgeteer. Dismember is a great card. Xander's Lounge is a possibility. I'm kind of leaning towards just taking the Scrapwork Mutt, though. No, actually, let's take the Force of Negation. Force of Negation is very important. Alright, I kind of like taking the Thopter Foundry here. It's an artifact, it sort of fits with our themes, and also it's a good card to get early. People don't take Sword of the Meek very highly. Yeah, we'll try this. A little bit of a speculative pick. There's Mystic Forge if we want to go deep on the artifact. Also consider Auriok Salvagers. Even Karakas would be a consideration. I kind of like taking Metamorph here and then trying to wheel Mystic Forge. There's a blue card for Force, an artifact for Gadgeteer. Yeah. Bauble, nice. So I do think the artifact lane is pretty open. I'll take that happily. Now we can take a Portal to Phyrexia. Sure. That is good if we get the card Tinker. It's not great otherwise. I think that's still the pick, though. Yeah, definitely gives us high upside. And it's possible to hardcast this, especially with Sol Ring. Pre-War Formal Rare. So this returns a small creature to play. Seems kind of weak. What colors are we planning on being? We need to be splashing either white or black if we want to play Thopter Foundry. There is Baleful Mastery. I kind of like taking this, though, even though it's not amazing here. Yeah, it could get there if we get Stoneforge. Now I'll take a Crystal Vein. Fall from Favor. Nice late pickup. Nice. Scrapwork Mutt wheeled. We almost took that the first time around, so nice to see it here. Now I'll take a Tarfire in case we go towards blue-red. Mystic Forge would be a big wheel, not even because it's that good. It is okay, but it just from a signaling perspective, that means the artifact lane is open, and we can hope to get some more of that later. This might have been the pack, though, so we don't see the Mystic Forge. That is pretty bad. So here we have Lotus Petal, Tundra. I think I want to just take the Petal, though. Just lean into speed here. We might not even be playing white. Yeah, I'll take the Petal. Not nearly as good of a first pick as Sol Ring, but any fast mana is going to be good. Now we see Mana Vault. That's great. It's super important to get some redundancy for the fast acceleration. That's really what makes these decks work. So very, very happy to see a couple pieces of cheap mana to start this pack. Now we see a couple really good white cards if we want to go in the more fair mid-range direction. Like we could take Palace Jailer and then have Fall of Favor plus Palace Jailer and be a Monarch deck. Or we could lean more into the like broken stuff and take Ancient Tomb. I think I'm gonna take the Tomb here. Yeah, I just think that this is looking like a deck that's gonna be better at doing the artifact thing than doing the Monarch thing. Now we could take Treasure Cruise, Shadow Spear, which is good if we get Urza's Saga. It also does just give us more of a density of artifacts for this. I really wish we'd wheeled the Mystic Forge. Actually gonna take the Treasure Cruise, I think. Yeah, this looks like a deck that could use a bit of card draw. Nexus of Becoming is interesting. I think I'll take that. Very good thing to ramp into with Soul Ring and Mana Vault. And then if we end up with any other big dudes like Mirror Battlesphere, that would be good. Pretty easy Talisman now, that's great. Oh wait, Balance. Yeah, gotta take Balance. Sorry, Talisman. This card is very, very good. Alright, now we are going to try to play white, but white can probably be a somewhat small splash. I'm not too worried about having like 9 white sources if we're just playing Balance and Thopter Foundry. Pretty solid pack here. Could take Trinket Mage or Teferi. I think they're both probably better than Palantir of Orthanc. Maybe not though. Palantir is pretty good. It's very good with Portal and Treasure Cruise and Nexus of Becoming. You know what? Yeah, we'll take this and then we might be able to wheel one of the blue cards. Now we see Channel, which is very good if we end up playing green. That pushes us into a third color when we don't even really have fixing for the 2 colors we are right now. I think I'm just going to take the Meticulous Archive and try to be more consistent on the balance. Time Warp, okay. We know Kiki's gone, so I don't think we're ever playing this. I'll take the Elvish Spirit Guide, which could get there in some situations. We wheel Path, that's nice. Calligrapher, not going to play that. We'll play Silent Clearing in some matchups. But okay, going into pack 3, we do need like 1 or 2 more just broken things. Like a Tinker would go a long way. Urza Saga, Tolarian Academy, Time Vault. Just like right now we have some good acceleration, but we don't have anything super broken to do with it yet, and that is what we're hoping to change in pack 3. Well, that's a pretty good one. I'll take an Ancestral Recall. That is awesome. Mystical Tutor could be good, especially if we get Tinker. But very easy Ancestral here. Get into the deck. Well, got past Mox. Not going to complain about that. There's also a Voltaic Key, which could be interesting if we end up picking up Time Vault, although at this point that's looking unlikely. Very happy to get a Mox, though. That is pretty busted. Now we see Mishra's Workshop, which is looking pretty good. There's also Upheaval, though. Enlightened Tutor, Portable Hole, a lot of good cards. I think I am going to take the Upheaval. With Mana Vault, Soul Ring, this just seems like it's going to be the best card for us. Thopter Foundry, not looking like it'll get there yet. Love seeing a late Karn. That's excellent. These constructs will be pretty large, and we can play Karn as early as turn 1. Fall from Favor is a little dicey. We just don't have that many ways to defend the Monarchy. But it may get there. Interesting. So there's Paradoxical Outcome. Do we think we could play a paradoxical outcome? Yes, but I'm going to wheel it. I think I'm going to take Spell Pierce here and then try to wheel the outcome. Now we see Expedition Map versus Mental Misstep. We just don't have the good lands, though. We don't have Urza's Saga. It is another cheap artifact, but I think Mental Misstep is actually going to be better. Retrofitter Foundry, great late pickup. Displacer Kitten is good with Mana Vault, but I think this is still the right pick. And then super late Talisman versus Mindstone, but I'll take the Talisman. Eagles of the North, nice. Alright, this is kind of getting there. What do we? I think I'll maybe move Mental Misstep to the board. Let's take a Jace here. I get the Soul Cauldron's okay, but Jace is really good in our our Mental Misstep deck. Let's take the Mishra's Workshop here. Portable Hole is good, so is Enlightened Tutor. But we have so many good spells already, I think upgrading the mana base is worth it. I'm going to cut Path and rely on Balance and Upheaval for our removal. For the main deck, at least. And then I think 15 lands should be fine here, especially with Eagles. Yeah, so white basically just for the balance, which is totally fine. Balance is worth splashing for. Fall from Favor looking a little dicey. We're also light on ways to actually win the game. Karn can do that. I think we're just going to be relying on a lot of concessions, though, frankly, which is fine. Would be nice to have one more big thing, though. I really wish we'd found the Sword of the Meek to pair with Thopter Foundry. Don't think I want to be playing any of these other cards, though. Ooh, okay, we do wield a Paradoxical Outcome. So we're going like a more combo-y direction here. Having win conditions is overrated. Who needs it? Scrubland, sure. Don't think that does anything for us. Neither does this. That's okay. Alright, so this seems about fine. That gives us 4 white sources plus the talisman. The 9, 10 blue. Yeah. We're playing a lot of colorless lands here. Colorless utility lands. But that's something you can afford to do when you have this many colorless spells. So we're hoping for some really like quick and busted starts with like, turn 1 Palantir of Orthanc or turn 1 Land Soul Ring into turn 2 Karn, that sort of thing. Just be explosive, be fast out of the gates, and ramp into some of these cards that take over the game. See you in round 1. On the play here for round 1 against Innis was right, and his hand is amazing. Turn 2 Nexus of Becoming. I think I'm going to just play turn 1 Mishra's Workshop and just get as much artifact mana value as possible. So let's go Workshop, Scrapwork Mutt, discarding planes. We only have 2 planes in the deck and we drew them both. I think I will cycle this. There's some argument to holding it for Forensic Gadgeteer. We'll do this, pass turn. So we can play turn 2, Nexus of Becoming, which essentially just lets us draw an extra card every turn with some upside. Ooh, they have some fast stuff as well. So you can exile an artifact or creature from your hand and create a 3/3 copy of it. Cast this, go to combat, just draw a card, no artifact or creature to put into play. Grim Monolith, wow, so they're doing a similar thing. They have the Thopter Foundry. Hopefully they're not able to find Sword of the Meek. Brutal. Alright, I'll put a 3/3 Palantir into play. Hit for 2. And go to end step and trigger Palantir. I don't think balance is going to be very good here, but Treasure Cruise is great. They're just going to mill it and take 8. Oh, they let us draw. Guide of Souls into Hard Evidence, sure. Don't love drawing another land there. Let's go to combat, swing with both. Gonna play Island and pass. Assume they're gonna let us draw again. We'll just take the Eagles of the North, which is a fine thing to draw here, actually. Pumping our team could be relevant. We can also put it into play off of the Nexus of Becoming. It'd be awesome if they played Sword of the Meek and we had Force of Negation, which exiled it. Weird game. So let's go to combat. Make an eagle. Swing for 7. Then we'll play Retrofitter Foundry, Surveil, and then trigger our Palantir. With Palantir on Nexus, we really do turn through our deck. I guess I should have kept the Lotus Petal because it cycles with Gadgeteer. But still looks pretty good. They just passed. What is our opponent doing over there? Another land. Just go to combat. Ooh. Alright. 3/3 Portal to Phyrexia. So with everything, they can make some Thopter tokens if they want to. It's kind of a desperation move, though. Alright, so they chump block, take 6, go to 2. I think I'm just going to pass here, honestly. We are going to be discarding a card to hand size. That's fine. Seems pretty hard for them to win from this position. They can make a dude end of turn, but then we can, or if they super board, we can make a dude end of turn. Weird, okay. A 4/4. Unexpectedly absent. I'm not going to counter that. They're still dead. Well, actually, are they dead? They can make 2 blockers, I guess. Yeah, they're still dead on board if they don't have anything. Go to combat. Alright. Weird game. So they're playing blue-white artifacts. I don't really know why they're playing Guide of Souls. Do we want to make any changes here? I don't think so. Yeah, let's run it back. If we just play turn 2 Nexus Becoming every game, we should be able to win. Even if it's a little bit weird and clunky after that, just that value is pretty crazy. This deck is much better at drawing cards than actually killing opponents, though. Well, I mentioned how we were good at drawing cards. Let's draw some cards. Definitely keep. Very good hand. Can lead on Soul Ring into Scrapwork Mud, I think, over Ancestral. They have their own Soul Ring. Don't love that. Yeah, pretty fast start from the opponent. Alright, well, we can play Nexus Becoming into Portal to Phyrexia on turn 4, or maybe even earlier. Hopefully, we're in a situation where Portal is actually good. Displacer Kitten. Okay, I don't care that much about that. Alright, I'm going to Ancestral myself. Let's see what we find. Just a bunch of lands. Not great. Surveil another land. bunch of islands in a row. We do have to turn 3 Nexus into Portal, though, which is pretty busted. And then we can bring back their Displacer Kitten and start flickering our Portal of Phyrexia. So really hoping they just play some creatures here. I think that's not super likely, but would be great if they like played the 5 mana. Oh. Okay, well, that's pretty good, I guess, against my draw 7. I'm happy I played the Lotus Petal out. Okay, pretty good backup hand. But they could go really deep here. Balance might just be pretty weak in this matchup. In which case we could just cut white. The Mox Opal, sure. Yeah, the balance just seems really bad. But nothing in the board seems that great either. Maybe Time Warp. I do think we're probably just going to play Nexus of Becoming here. They flicker the Kitten. That's weird. I would have thought they'd flicker Trinket Mage. Maybe they just only have 3, though. I mean, that's still a pretty good package for that. Forensic Gadgeteer. Is that better than playing Nexus of Becoming? I think it actually is. I'll play that. They counter. Sure. I'm just going to get this into play to be mana efficient and pass turn. This is a tough matchup, though. Like, our main tools in general are balance and upheaval, and those things both just do essentially nothing against them. So it's going to be very hard for us to win. I don't really even know how, like... We won the first game because they didn't do anything, but this is kind of the nightmare matchup. They're doing the same thing as us, but just with a lot more threats. Alright, I'll accept this trade. Serra Paragon, so probably going to need to fire off a balance here. Ooh, good draw. I'm just going to play into them having something. Like, if they have a Spell Pierce, that would be bad, but I don't think they will. Cast this to sweep their board. We're going to have to discard down to 2 cards. So let's keep these 2. And then I'm actually going to start plussing with Karn, I think. Maybe that's wrong. But we're in a situation where getting a land is actually nice. Probably unlikely that Mental Misstep will be very good here. Well, yeah, I mean, it's good in the matchup, but not good at this stage. Urza. That's bad. So I guess we're hoping to find Portal to Phyrexia. So I think I'm just going to grab this Mana Vault. Cast Nexus of Becoming into Gadgeteer. Yeah, that seems good. Go land. Nexus. Gadgeteer. Then cast Mana Vault and trigger Gadgeteer. And then I think I'm just going to let Karn die, weirdly. I think the Gadgeteer is going to be better as a source of card advantage as we dig for Portal to Phyrexia. Just a Plains. Yeah, weird to let the Karn die, but I think it is correct here. I think this Gadgeteer is going to do a lot for us this turn. Excellent draw. Let's crack a clue. Crack another clue. That's bad. Do we want to unearth this dude? I think so. Another land. Can we get that portal? I actually don't want to put that into play because it will die. Send both these at Saheeli. If it flips, like, it doesn't actually work. Yeah, really, really unfortunate not to hit another artifact there. We dug pretty hard, but just didn't get anything. Cast this, pass turn. That can flashback Ancestral next turn, so we can keep the cards flowing. We should be able to find Portal of Phyrexia next turn. The question is, are we getting to the point where it's too late? Yeah, I think Portal to Phyrexia, I think that we actually just can't win now because they can just mill us, essentially. If we had, like, Jace in our deck or Thassa's Oracle, then we could win. I'm just gonna concede. I think there's no way for us to win. Again, we're pretty light on win conditions in this deck in general. If we can fight through this one matchup, I think this deck is phenomenal. But this is kind of the worst possible matchup. Do we want to try to play anything else? Like, maybe we try to get Time Warp in there, but I think I'm just gonna run it back and, like, hope that it's good enough. Basically, the balance. I'm gonna keep the balance. There's an argument for cutting it. It's easier to make it good on the play. Okay, this is definitely a keep. I think I'm just going to play Meticulous Archive on turn 1. Okay, that looks good. That doesn't do anything. So we'll go Workshop, Talisman. I guess I'll Ancestral now. So not the best sequencing, but it's fine. And pass turn. And then next turn we can just cast Nexus of Becoming and put a 3/3 Lotus Petal into play if we want to. Sword of the Meek. Okay. Quick Nexus. Nice, I'll put a 3/3 Palantir into play. I'll hold this. They have Time Twister in their deck. I guess I'll just cast this. Go to end step, trigger this thing. Bottom, top. If they want to take one, that's fine. If they want to give a Spell Pierce, that's great. Okay, that's fine. Do we offer Palantir for Guide of Souls trade? Probably not. So let's just go land, Soul Ring, Karn, make a dude. I guess we should have all done this all second main phase. Okay, I'm just gonna make a second Nexus of Becoming. Then cast Jace. And go to end step. And we're kind of doing the thing. Eagles of the North on top is funny. We'll see if they mill 2. They give us the Eagles, which is pretty good with our double Nexus of Fate. If they can put 2 more creatures into play, they can give their Guide of Souls flying and kill our Karn, but just this one construct is a real source of pressure. Even if they have Thopter Foundry at this point, we might be able to go over the top of it, although it would be tough. It would definitely be tough. Hard Evidence, okay. Hoping they don't have another cheap creature. Just crack the clue. Nice. Okay. Feels like we should be able to win pretty easily now. So let's start by... I'll make another construct. Go to combat. Swing with these, which are pretty huge. We're drawing like 10 cards a turn now. So a chump block, take 4. Then let's go loot. I'll just play land and pass. We trigger the Palantir, and then we have Retrofitter Foundry to make some dudes. Paradoxical Outcome draws us essentially infinite cards. Although worth noting that all these tokens would not work the way we want them to. Urza, okay. Their constructs are small. That doesn't mean they can give their Guide of Souls flying, or give one of their things flying with the Guide of Souls, but that's less scary now that we have the Retrofitter. I think I'm just going to make another 1/1 this turn. I'm going to plus to start. Treasure Cruise Mana Vault, alright. Then let's go to combat. Three Mana Vault. Attack with everything. I just want to be getting aggressive here. Like, yeah, they can eat my Palantir if they want to. That just doesn't seem like that big of a concern. Force of Negation should basically lock it down. Alright, this is all fine. I guess I'll turn this into a flyer. Just gonna pass, go to end step, trigger the Palantir again. I don't think I really care about either of these. And then next turn, I mean, we could just go upheaval, but realistically, I think we're just going to be able to win with Force of Negation for whatever they play this turn. And then just attacking with everything. We have a pretty huge board presence. I know I was saying we don't have enough creatures, but now we have a lot of creatures, and they're big. We have like 40 power. Nadu. Sure. I mean, we can't even counter that, but I don't think I would even if I could. They can use the Sword of the Meek to draw some cards here. Which I guess does mean, like... No. Okay, so we get to see the card. Island goes into play, sure. This is some good value for them, but it's a lot... Nadu is a lot less good when you have to spend 2 mana to do it. They get another land. Weird game. Okay, let's just counter this, and that should seal the deal. Nice. All right, so we take down match 1, even though, again, I think this, on paper, is a pretty tough matchup. We'd much rather be up against someone who, like, is soft to balance and upheaval. I'll see you in round 2. All right, we are on the draw here for round 1, but we have a good hand, largely because of Mental Misstep, which seems just so powerful in the draw here. Play Sol Ring. I don't even care. I will counter this. Would love to draw Sol Ring of my own for the turn 1 Talisman. Or Mox. Okay, gonna fire this off. I'm gonna do it in their upkeep. Doesn't mean we can't draw Spell Pierce, but it also means we're better against them having another discard spell. Unmarked Grave. Really don't like to see that. We don't have much in the way of graveyard hate. Did they have the Archon of Cruelty? Woodfall Primus, not much better. I'm actually just going to get Palantir into play this turn. We could easily lose. If they just put the Woodfall Primus into play, we probably are not going to win this game. But this gets the pressure going early, which I think is important. Don't bring back the Primus, please. They brought back the Primus. Do they go for the Island or the Palantir? Palantir, okay. Pass turn. So we can probably beat this Woodfall Primus if it's all they have. Do they have a bunch more action, though? That is the question. Talisman, don't care too much about that. Our best draw would be Sol Ring or Mana Crypt so that we can really ramp out something quickly. Okay. To take 6, down to 6. So let's loot, probably discarding the Mutt. Then plus here, so we're not dead on board. We play Island and pass. And then next turn we can play Upheaval and then just... But we're not even ahead. We don't get to rebuild that quickly. Unless we find Sol Ring or something. Do you go face or Jace? Face. Probably a good play. Okay, that doesn't do too much. Shurikai also doesn't do too much. The annoying thing is that they are going to be able to discard this to hand size. Dead. Alright, so playing against Blue-Black Reanimator, we don't have any graveyard hate. Which isn't great. Woodfall Primus is also pretty good against our deck. I guess I'll bring in Path, which I don't love. I think it probably is correct. Maybe not. You know what? No, I'm gonna try to counter their stuff. We have Force of Negation, Spell Pierce, and Mental Misstep, and then this just gives us more of the strong proactive game plan. I don't think balance is at its best here, but I think it is still worth including. This hand seems acceptable. I like that it has Force of Negation. Portal of Phyrexia may be a little tough to get to. Does seem very good in the matchup though, where they're filling up their graveyard with big stuff. I'm gonna choose not to play. Like we could go Island, hold up for Hardcast Force by playing Lotus Petal, but that seems just not great. If they play Unmarked Grave, I'm not gonna force it either. That is interesting. Hopefully they don't have a big thing to discard. They probably do. Just discard the planes. Bummer. Gadgeteer, good draw. So we have the Force up if we need it. But I'm hoping to be able to just try to not cast it and then get up to Portal of Phyrexia, bring back their Primus. We can just fire off Paradoxical Outcome as a bad draw too. Next turn, I prefer to get some better value out of it by finding Soul Ring or something like that. I'm just going to take the 2 here. They could have like Bowmasters or something. I just don't care that much about 2 damage. Well, yeah, I do think we need to counter this, as much as I hate to do it. And then really hope they don't have a second reanimation spell. Excellent draw. Alright. Jace. Hit for 2 and pass. The next one we have 5, 6, 7 mana, so we still can't portal. Saheeli's fine. We get 2 draws off of the Jace. So and if we can find more artifacts, we can just keep the cards flowing. They pass. So it's untap. Bauble is an amazing pickup. Also lets us flip the Jace if we want to, which I think we do. So we just keep the cards flowing. I think I am fine discarding this Crystal Vein. Crack this. Look at a card in your hand. Grim Monolith, okay. And we'll attack Saheeli and pass. Kind of weird to see them block there. Maybe we were supposed to keep the Crystal Vein also to try to cast this Portal of Phyrexia. Feels like we're in a pretty good spot though, especially with a couple pieces of counter magic in hand. They do have a Monolith, so I guess maybe the Spell Pierce is going to be tough to get value out of this game. Okay, this resolves. They already have Primus in the graveyard, so I don't think this is going to do too much. Like maybe they have Lingering Souls or something. Not too worried about that though. I would love to find Mana Vault or Soul Ring. Just really turbocharge the like snowballing turns. They only have 2 cards though. Okay, so do we want to copy Gadgeteer? That seems pretty good. Now I'm gonna flip Jace, flashback Ancestral. Okay. So that stops me from flipping Jace for a turn. Hard to be too concerned about this play, though. Would love to find an artifact. Crack this. Still would love to find an artifact. Every artifact basically just like snowballs so hard here. So at this point, I think we're just moving towards upheaval. Let's send both of our creatures at Saheeli. Yep, this is fine. Then we pass, and now with them having no artifacts, it's going to be a lot easier for us to get value out of this Spell Pierce. If Upheaval is like the bottom card of our deck, that it could be hard for us to win the game. But we can find Karn and make some big constructs that way. Seems like it should be okay. We definitely don't care about Grave Titan or Woodfall Primus at this point. Do we want to just jam Portal to Phyrexia? Maybe. It's kind of funny how few win conditions this deck has. Okay, they want to bring back Grave Titan. That's fine. That's also fine. Let's mental misstep this. I like that we're gonna have Spell Pierce for after we restart the board. Mana Vault. Okay, Portal of Phyrexia. Seems unlikely to do that much. Let's loot. I guess we play Mana Vault. I really wish they didn't have 5 creatures. Don't really see a good way around this, though. So I'm just going to go for Ancestral and just try to find the Upheaval and win the game that way. Come on, Upheaval, please. Dang it. There it is. Okay, so if we cast it now, how much mana do we have left over? A lot, but is it enough? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Versus if we wait for turn, how bad is it? Not that bad. I think I am just going to go for it here. It's obviously a lot smaller than if we were to wait longer. But I think I just want to like not give them extra time. So now we'll go Mox, Island, Talisman, Talisman, Manavault, Petal, and then just go to discard. Pitching land, 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 Nexus, Cruise, Jace, Gadgeteer, land. And they pass. And then this turn, we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we could just play Portal to Phyrexia with Spell Pierce up. That feels like that's probably a winning line, especially with Metamorph in hand. Yeah, let's just do that. Oh, is that better? I think so. So we'll go Ancient Tomb. Karn. Big Boy. Retrofitter. And then pass the Spell Pierce up. And this way we could also save the Phyrexian Portal, or the Portal to Phyrexia to potentially kill their thing. So if they go for Grave Titan, I'm actually just going to let it happen. They go for the Primus, so I will Spell Pierce. So I don't want to lose the Karn. We'll say no. Make another Construct. Land. Playing Palantir seemed like too much of a risk because I don't want to mill myself. Whoops. I'm just going to cast another... So I'm going to hold the Portal to Phyrexia. Just cast another Metamorph, copying Construct. And, okay, they concede. So we take down game 2. Weird game, but a good one. 4 cards left in library. Do we want to play Path here? Really don't like the idea. Like, they bring Woodfall Primus back, kill something, then we Path it, they get a land. That just really does not seem like a winning line. Yeah, I think I'm just going to run it back and hope that we can stop them from putting stuff into play in the first place. Or just, like, Upheaval and ignore it. Not a very exciting hand. I think I'm going to keep it, though. Jace is pretty nice. We get some card selection. We can also flip our Jace pretty quickly. Oh, okay. Sure. Jace, Wielder of Mysteries on top. Good one to know about. Alright, Archive. That's an interesting one. I think I'm going to graveyard it. I definitely wouldn't hate drawing it, but I think I'd rather dig for something a little bit more impactful. Alright, I'm going to play Jace first. Remand. Okay, just gonna let that happen. They do get to cycle. I don't love letting them cycle here, but I think Spell Pierce is still good enough that it's worth holding. I'm actually gonna counter this though. Weirdly, this helps them a lot more for finding more resources, more lands. Definitely not positive on that play. Let's cast Scrapwork Mutt to Discard land. There we go. That's a good draw. They do find their third land now, but they have nothing in the graveyard. They're still pretty far away from doing anything relevant. Let's flip our Jace. I'm going to discard Portal of Phyrexia here. Then go land. Weird situation where we could give Spell Pierce flashback, but it looks like they're F6. Let's just play this. Make a dude. Retrofitter. Plus hit for 2 and pass. Now it seems pretty tough for them to come back from here. If they just go like Swamp, Unmarked Grave, Exhume, they could still win. But it feels like this is a good spot. I think I like our position. True-Name Nemesis does not do that. I guess it slows down our beats. It makes me want to plus this instead of minus. Land and Gadgeteer. Oh, they give us the Gadgeteer. That's crazy. Don't really have good attacks, but we can just set up for upheaval potentially. I guess we don't have a good upheaval situation right now. Saheeli, very unimpactful. Do they send this at Karn? We can pay 2 to untap it, sack the Lotus Petal to put another 1/1 into play. I don't think that's worth it though. Let's plus this again. Just digging for something relevant. So they're going to give us the Ancient Tomb, yeah. Plus send everything at Saheeli. Then they eat the Gadgeteer, but lose Saheeli. Seems like a bad exchange for us. So I'm just going to play land and pass. Weird game. There's definitely possible I've taken the wrong line at various stages. Feels like we're about to get to a good upheaval opportunity, though. I do want them to tap out first, but they kind of have to tap out. I mean, this Jace is threatening to win. The ultimate I don't think they could beat, especially with upheaval. But then they're ignoring Karn. Okay, definitely don't care about another Nethergoyf. We can just spam a bunch of dudes this turn. So they do go at the Jace. Oh, nope. Going to Karn. Good chance they have a counterspell. No attack. Interesting. Okay, so let's just spam a bunch of dudes into play. Yeah, I'm just gonna do this. On top. Mana Vault, excellent draw. Let's start by casting it. So, like, okay, what's our plan here? Do I want to play this upheaval? No, I'm going to plus here. Cast Mana Vault. Crack this clue. Cast Ancestral. Paradoxical Outcome is spicy. Gonna try and take the Saheeli off the board. Okay, so Healy goes to 1. That seems fine. Plus this again. Okay, with the Eagles of the North, that's kind of threatening lethal next turn. And we also have this Jace, of course, that's threatening them as well. We'll just pass. Not going to jam into all their open mana here. And then I think we should be able to kill them this turn. Or, like, not necessarily put them to 0 life, but put them in a way where they can no longer win. Like, they kind of have to do something. I mean, they have to attack the Jace and also have an answer to this upheaval. And we can upheaval into Karn, make constructs, and pressure them really quickly that way. They have Exhume, just to bring back Nethergoyf. That is, of course, not very threatening. Tinker, interesting. We'll see what they can get with that. I'm not too afraid of most common Tinker targets. Yeah, Portal of Phyrexia doesn't really do much here. So I think we're just going to go for a huge upheaval. They have to attack our Jace. Unless is there any way we can win the game here. We'd have to be able to remove both of their blockers, which I don't think we can do. Alright. I guess we paid 2 life that we didn't need to pay. That's fine. So I'm going to say no. Oh. That should win. So we go cast this. Copy their portal, which takes out their board. Then we're going to grab our Eagles of the North. Play land. Cast Eagles. And attack them with everything. Wow. Alright, weird game, but we got there. Both players had a Portal to Phyrexia in play. That's how you know it was a good game. We are 2-0. I'll see you in the finals. On the play for the finals. That is excellent. And we have a good hand as well. No turn 1 play off of this Ancient Tomb, but just holding up Mental Misstep is good, and then we can decide between these two for turn 2. Kind of leaning towards the Jace, though, unless we top deck a 0 mana artifact. Well, oh, we can't. That's rough. We can't counter this. It doesn't say 1 or less. It's only exactly 1. Wow. Well, pretty busted start from the opponent. Good thing we can counter at least one thing. Do they really have... Wow, that's a really... Turn 1, Mox, Soul Ring, Spell Pierce. Whew. This is going to be a tough one. Balance already looking bad as well. Interesting. I think I'm still just going to play Jace this turn. But they have 5 mana. I mean, they could easily just dominate us here. Gleemox, Soul Ring, Spell Pierce, turn 1. That's scary. Okay, so let's go Ancient Tomb, Gadgeteer, Soul Ring. Then would love to find another 0 or 1 mana artifact off of these. Ertai Resurrected to kill the Gadgeteer. Fair enough. Or just counter Soul Ring. Also fair enough. So we draw a card. And then just pass. I'm not going to trade Forensic Gadgeteer for Airtile Resurrected here. The Gadgeteer will generate us a ton of value over the course of the long game. 5 mana for Jace. Okay. I think we can go over the top of that. I mean, it's a win condition. They mill us. That's weird because it lets us flip the Jace, but I'm gonna do this first so we get an extra loot out of the Jace. Balance seems unlikely to be very good this game. Yeah, I'm gonna discard Balance. But that actually does just help us for them to be milling us. That doesn't really make sense. When there's the known Jason play. Alright, untap. We're gonna flip our Jace. Ooh. Okay, yes, still gonna loot. Let's discard Island. Then go Mishra's Workshop. Nexus of Becoming. Investigate. I will plus here so that I can attack. And I should have cracked this before the Nexus triggered. Oh wow, we could have put Portal to Phyrexia into play. Yeah, I mean, kind of punished. I think we're still in a pretty good spot, but it's far from over. We'll see if they keep on Jacing us and letting us have more card selection with our Jace. So that is bad. That just wins the game. Because they can mill their entire deck and then win with Jace. Touche. Alright, so we're playing against a Doomsday deck. They beseech the mirror. They have some counter magic. Orcish Bowmasters. Honestly, the deck doesn't seem that good if they don't have Limok Soul Ring on turn 1. Balance, once again, not seeming great here. I think I am still going to play it, though, and just run it back. Yeah, I mean, Demonic Consultation plus Jace is pretty tough for us to interact with. We have some counter magic, of course, but that's it. Hopefully we can have a busted start. Turn 1, Nexus of Becoming into a Phyrexian Metamorph, making a second Nexus of Becoming. Then turn 2 Karn and just start beating down. That's what I want to do. With Force of Negation and Spell Pierce up. I don't think any of these like random threats on our board are very good. Good to know that they're a combo deck. Like, that was a game where we would have won the grindy game with Nexus of Becoming in play, but that doesn't really matter if they can just combo kill you. So we need to be very careful about Jace. Ideally try to get to a point where we can attack it effectively. Our deck is not the best at attacking, but hopefully we can get there. I really wish we had an Urza Saga. That would make this deck a lot better. Just giving us more pressure. Alright, on the play. Let's do something good. Alright, I'm going to keep this hand, weird hand, with no lands. We're going to have to burn our Lotus Petal, but I think this hand is still pretty easily a keep. I'll keep a second land. Then we're 1 land away from Nexus of Becoming. Big turn here because we don't have Spell Pierce up. Imperial Seal. Okay, that's exactly what we wanted to see. So now we go Plains, Retrofitter Foundry, pass with Spell Pierce and making a token up, and hope to find a land for Nexus of Becoming. And this gives us a real clock, it's a slow clock, but it gives us something to do every turn, so even if we're bricking, we can still be adding to the board. Scrapwork Mutt, pretty bad draw. Let's just hit for 1 and pass. And I think I'm just going to turn this into a 4/4. Which is real pressure, of course, but do need to find something else. Okay, I will cast Jace. Go to combat and hit for 4. Jace worse than almost any other 2-drop here. Just like a 2-mana 2/2 would almost be better. If we're trying to close out the game before with this Spell Pierce. Okay, this resolves. What? Wait. What? What are they just... Sure. They named Trespasser. Yeah, I have no idea what was going on there, but they just lost. Okay, so any other information that we gain here? Not really. Okay, well, on to the finals. Strange match so far. Do we want to play any of this other stuff? No, let's run it back. I think it's like Scrapwork Mutt versus Time Warp is the one thing I'm somewhat considering. But I'm gonna keep the Mutt, just keep the low curve and the artifact count up. Okay, love having a Spell Pierce hand, or a Force of Negation hand. We're close, but can't quite play turn 2 Karn. It would, of course, be incredible if you could draw Soul Ring, or Mox, or Mana Crypt. Okay, I'm not going to counter that. There is a real argument that we should, but I think I'm going to hold off. My Kingdom for a Soul Ring. Turn 1 Island Soul Ring Talisman with Force up in the turn 2 Karn. Totally devastating game. Turn 1 just like land go. Less devastating. They're down to 3 cards though. Jace or Talisman on turn 2. It's pretty close. If we draw land, then Talisman guarantees us the turn 3 Karn. Okay, they just played Doomsday. Do we think we can beat this Doomsday with just a Force of Negation? I should have taken a screenshot of their deck. I think I'm gonna let this resolve. They have 2 cards in hand. They have only black mana. How are they gonna get to triple blue and Jace and a way to deal with this Force of Negation? I think I'd rather just hope that they miscalculate here, or can't play around counter magic, rather than if we force this, we just turn it into a long game, which we could maybe win. They are low on resources, but I think this is the right play to just let this happen. It's also 100% game over if we can top deck a Spell Pierce. then the question becomes, I mean, we still have the same question of Jace versus Talisman. Jace could help us dig for Ancestral Recall, which we could play targeting them. And I don't think we need Talisman that much. Like, at this point, we're not really trying to win with damage. I think, like, this does put them to 9, but I think I'm still basically just on game plan, like, kill them via mill. Do I get to see the cards they pick? I guess not. I would love to find a way to kill this Gleemox, but we don't have many ways to do that. Good Crystal Vein something out, like, but Gadgeteer and Metamorph both don't really do anything. So almost definitely just like, I really don't think they'll be able to kill me this turn. Famous last words. Upheaval, kind of a funny one. Let's just play the Jace. Loot. Spell Pierce, that's exactly what we wanted. So I'll discard Karn, funnily enough. Play Island, and then just pass with Spell Pierce plus 4's up. I guess if they have Thassa's Oracle, this is bad, but we haven't seen Thassa's Oracle yet. I'll let this resolve. They have 0 cards in library, so if they just have if they have Thassa's Oracle that we haven't seen, we lose. But if they go for the Jace, we win. No, they do have Thassa's Oracle. Good game. That's so tragic. We hadn't seen that yet, but I guess I shouldn't be surprised if they're like clearly pretty in on the combo. So we fall in the finals, very, very close, but this deck was pretty sweet. Yeah, just a lot of good card draw, a lot of interaction, and man, what a weird league, but that's just how this format goes. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.